Hi, welcome to TELUS STORYHIVE On Location, Vernon. I'm Robb and we're live in Vernon with another incredibly inspiring episode brought to you by TELUS STORYHIVE. Today I'm at the Vibe in downtown Vernon, and we're sitting with Mark Kemper, who is an extremely talented woodworker, carpenter, and probably a lot of other skill sets that I'm going to dive into. Thank you for having me, Mark.
Oh,
it's
yes.
Nice to meet you.
I'm thrilled to be able to move forward, and get more exposure out and everything. It's incredible.
Perfect. Let's start off with who you are, where you're from, and how you got into woodworking.
Originally, I was born in the States, down in Indiana. My dad moved us up here in 1969. And when I was in Indiana, we was on a dairy farm down there. We had a dairy farm. We were planning on having a dairy farm up here, but that fell through. And so then we ended up doing custom farming and all that kind of stuff. And then when I decided to move off the farm then, because I have two other brothers that stayed there working on the farm, and I ended up being asked to manage a big hog farm up in Armstrong. And so I ran that for 10 years and then got into a situation I ran it for about 4 years and then ended up buying it. And then got into a situation where I was milling all my own feed. We got in a shipment of premix from Alberta that had 100 times too much vitamin A in it. And so it killed 400 pigs, put me under quarantine.
Oh, wow.
And so I ended up losing the farm because of that. But at the same time, I had a friend that had hogs as well, and he was into construction. And he says, "Mark, you want to come work for me then?" So I did, and got my apprenticeship and everything. And so I did that, and then had another buddy who, this was about 3 years into doing construction. I was in the fire department up in Armstrong, and he was working over in Japan. And so he says, "Mark, you want to come over to Japan and work with me?" So off I go to Japan, and I was built off and on. I was there for about 5 years, and we ended up building about 20 different homes all over Japan. The one house I remember in particular, we were right at the base of Mount Fuji. And
Are they like traditional Japanese homes, or
no, they were pre-cut homes that were made in Vancouver, shipped over, and then we put them together, and then I did all the finishing on them as well. And the funniest thing is the one outfit that I got to working for, that we became really, really close friends, and he had this 65-year-old finishing carpenter working for him, and we got to working together quite a bit. And all that he goes, "You sensei." And I go, no, you sensei. No, you sensei. And so it was quite hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then that same outfit that was shipping there, they wanted to get into Europe. And so they phoned me up the one day and says, "Mark, you're going to Budapest to put a house up." So off I go to Budapest, right in the heart of Budapest. Like I was, that chain link bridge that's built there, the house I was building just was up on the hill up above it. It was unbelievable. And so spent about a month and a half over there working on that house, and then had another friend that he got me going. He wanted me to go work in Hawaii, so I was over in Hawaii working for a while. And then the lady that I was working for over there, she says, "Mark, when my daughter builds, you're coming to build it for her." And that was in LA. So I built 2 homes for her in LA. And in between that, the same buddy, he worked for Panabode Log Homes in Vancouver, and they phoned him up the one day and says, "Wayne, we sold a house to the Canary Islands. we need somebody to go over with you and help you put it up. So off to the Canary Islands. So there's not been many carpenters that I know of who's had that kind of experience, eh?
No.
And so then after I built custom homes around here quite a bit, and then just for whatever reason, after the last home that I built, I decided, okay, I'm going to get into the woodworking and do more, because I had one of the restaurants here wanted me to start building all the tables for them and remodeling the bars and all that kind of stuff. And so I started that, and then it just escalated from that. Eh?
What a crazy story. To travel the world building houses.
Yeah.
That is, never met an artist who, that was how they got into art, was building houses all over the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that experience of getting to see so many different cultures has added towards your work?
For sure.
Is
There's
there
no
a
question
specific
about it.
culture that you fell in love with more than another?
Oh, the Japanese.
I was going to say they're amazing with wood.
Well, they're just amazing with wood, but they had such absolute respect for what I did and stuff. Eh? In fact, this one outfit that I was telling you about, the guy that kept calling me sensei, they decided they could buy these homes cheaper out of Newfoundland. So they had houses shipped over, and they had people from Newfoundland coming to build them. So the wife, we were good friends and stuff, and she goes, Mark, she phoned me up the one day and she says, Mark, we need you. Says, if we don't get these, they had 5 houses on the go, none of them were finished. She says, if we don't get these finished, we're going to lose our business. So I put a crew together and off I went. And she says, you saved our business. And they just was so appreciative of it. And one of the other things that I had the opportunity, I don't know whether you remember when the Olympics was on over in Nagano there, there was where the people shot this building in behind where all the broadcasters were. It was a very sacred temple that every year the people would go through, the Japanese people would go through and walk down in the basement and rub their hands along the wall and come out the other side, and that cleansed them for the year, right? I was the first white guy that was ever allowed into that place.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just been an amazing experience. Eh?
Amazing journey.
Yeah.
And then diving into artwork and creating wood masterpieces. Like, I'm looking at the pieces that you've gotten here alone, and it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite pieces is actually, that's yours, right? Correct? The burl table.
Oh, yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
As a woodworker, I'm like, I love the way you made that look.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've got 2 of them actually.
Okay.
I've got the other half of that as well.
At home?
Well, it's at home right now. And it's just, it like if you sit there and look at that, the faces that come out of that piece is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Where did you find that?
It was at a site where all this stuff gets ground up into hog fuel.
Okay.
And so I look at it as me being able to save and turn something that was going to be made into the same as what that was going to be. That was going to get all ground up. And that's why the poem goes with that. And then all of this stuff would be all ground up too. And to take this and turn it into something that's people are going to appreciate and last for generations is very heartwarming for me.
How does it feel to have Mark Kemper tables in almost all the restaurants in town? Kind of a thing. Like, to have you, to be sought after as a carpenter, that is like, we never think that that's going to happen, right? We just build houses and we do our job. We do our 9 to 5 and go home. More or less, it's like 9 to 9. But but to be picked up and sought after as for your artwork is quite mind-blowing.
Oh, it is. It really, it's something that has always, as I said, when I was in the Canary Islands, the people that I was working for down there, his mom was a very high-end interior decorator for all of Spain and the Canary Islands. And she invited us over for dinner one night, and we were looking to, I'd taken pictures with me to see, and she'd seen the things that I'd done to the house and everything. She was looking at the pictures and then looks up for me and she says, Mark, she says, you're no carpenter, you're an artist. And then the 2 houses that I built in LA then for that lady, all high-end homes and very high-end interior decorators come in, and the one said, Jade, this is not a house, this is a work of art, you know? And so it's just like, one of the things that I'm always been very conscientious about is putting detail into the stuff I do. And that's where the difference is at.
And you see it. Like when you're looking at your pieces of work, there's people who can take a piece of wood, sand it down, stain it, call it done.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're not doing the due diligence that the wood needs. And I feel like when I'm looking at some of your pieces and the shapes that you're putting into it, you're not forcing the wood to
No,
do
you
what
let it
want.
talk to you.
You're speaking with the wood, and that's what really drew me to you as a woodworker to woodworker. I'm like, you get it. You don't fight the wood. You work with it.
Yeah, yeah.
It becomes your friend. And the bowls.
Yeah.
How does that process go? Because that's one I'm like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah. Well, I do, these are turned on my lathe. Those there, that one is, that bowl there is done with a chainsaw carver.
Oh, wow.
And so you take that piece, and I've got a thing that goes on my angle grinder that's a chainsaw.
Oh, wow.
And you have to be very, very careful when you
imagine.
start that sucker up. And but the stuff that you can do with it is just unbelievable.
So you do this on a lathe? These bowls?
This one here I did on a lathe, yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
See, and that's a piece that I found that was a birch burl.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is this out of a burl? Because it's
Yeah.
not easy to work with either.
No,
Burls are not, because
they're
there's
not.
no way to read how
They're
the
not.
wood's going to work
and
with.
then too, and I've been trying to look at all the different species, and I never thought that that's a piece of juniper.
Oh, wow.
And I never thought that would be that hard to be able to turn on a bowl as a cedar, right?
Yeah.
But and then the color that come out in it is just stunning, absolutely stunning.
So I assume you like stains that are natural stains for the woods that you work
Well,
with.
this is all natural.
No, but yeah, when
I
you
do not stain.
Not at all?
Hardly ever. Hardly ever.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So did you put
And-
protective layers over top of it?
Huh?
At all? Did you put
Yeah, I put protectors over
Okay.
it. Yeah, like this one here is a piece of sycamore that I found,
Oh, wow.
and turned that one as well. Eh?
I often wonder because I've only worked with a handful of woods art-wise, and not a lot of them I'd like staining personally, so I'm curious what some of
Yeah.
these pieces would look like, because I've never seen them stained before.
No. Well, that's when the
And I like that you keep it authentic.
Yeah. And then this one here, that's a piece of black walnut.
How much does that cost? Not cheap.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful wood to work with.
Oh, it is.
They use that for bows, do they not?
This one here, this tree was taken down not too far from here. I had a friend.
Oh,
And so he gave me all these logs and pieces, and I took those and said, oh, pick it up and say, okay, what can I make out of this? And that's the way I do things, eh?
When you're dealing with pieces like this, and because we all know that wood does not like to stay
Yeah.
as a solid piece, it likes to crack. How do you choose which pieces are going to be ones that can hold liquid versus ones that are for decorations?
Well,
Ahead of time,
you
you're not
just, the thing of it is you basically have an eye for it, and then as you start turning it, it's almost it starts speaking to you.
Okay.
And then the other crazy thing that I'm finding all the time now is faces and everything. Like if you look at this,
I see
there,
faces, yeah.
the eyes looking at you.
Yep.
You know.
And that's what I love about wood.
No, it is.
It's living
is.
and breathing.
It is.
Are these your utensils?
Hmm?
Did you make these utensils?
No.
No? Okay, I was gonna say.
I'm going to get into that, but I haven't at this point yet. But it's
quite stunning.
you know, and then like that.
I was gonna say, is that an actual picture of one of your pieces?
What's that? Which?
The photo.
Oh yeah. No, well that is Anthony Hopkins, of course, and he was doing a movie here a few years ago.
Wow.
And my daughter, she's a hairdresser in Vancouver. She was up doing it, so she got me in to meet him, and she was telling me about how kind he was to all the people, because the film was filmed in Enderby, and he would go around and meet all the people, and he was so kind to them, and so I ended up giving him this bowl, and I've got a signed picture of it thanking me for that bowl, and he said to me, he said, Mark, he says, I get a lot of this kind of stuff, and he says, I just have to put it into storage, but he says, this is going in my house.
Can't beat that.
No.
You can't beat that.
No, you can't.
No,
you can't.
You got a piece of work in Hannibal Lecter's house. That's pretty cool, my friend.
Yeah.
No, but the piece beside it, that is stunning.
And that one that's beside it, that's out of that same tree that
The bowl?
that bowl is, eh? And so you just you let the wood talk to you basically, and then the other thing I've started doing is taking small logs or whatever and making my own lumber out of it.
Oh, wow.
And this is a piece here that's two pieces glued together, if you could imagine that.
In the center?
Yeah,
This way?
yeah.
Okay.
But if you
Yeah, you can
flip
see
it
it.
over,
Yeah,
you can't
tell
see,
at all.
you can't tell at all.
No.
And
The only way you can
that's-
tell is from the back.
Yeah.
The feeling of the seam.
But that's a piece of apricot wood.
Legit can't see the seam in this. From the back you can feel it, but there is no seam there. That is quite magical. And that's the thing, right? A lot of people who don't work with wood don't fully understand how intricate you have to deal with it.
Oh yeah.
And if you're
well,
taking it
I've
big
done
scale.
like I'm very good at mirroring now.
Okay.
I just built a 10-foot table that I'll show you pictures here after, or I'll show you now. But it's to be able to mirror something that big
Yeah.
is almost impossible. But I have developed a system where that I can make that perfect cut down the middle and allow it to mirror. And here's another one
Oh, wow.
that if you look at that one on the front again,
Can't see any
like that
seam.
one is mirrored and glued together.
So you cut this way.
Well, I take and cut it to length, and then I run it through my bandsaw and make little boards out of it,
Okay.
and then cut the one side off of it and then glue them together.
I love it. I love the way you think of it and how you keep it natural.
Yeah,
A
well,
lot of the woodworkers, and that's why I was kind of wondering, like, I didn't see any stains, which is why I was kind of wondering, do you have any? But then to hear that you'd rather keep it natural is kind
Oh,
of
it
I love that.
100%. If there's any way that I can keep it 100% natural, I do.
Do you burn wood at all?
I do a little bit, but not too much. Yeah.
No, okay. It definitely, I feel like burning it has its places,
Yeah.
and that's about it. Like, there's specific things you can do, but you can take it way too far with.
Yeah.
With the burning.
See, and this is that table.
Oh my! I love the eyes.
Well, here.
I love the eyes.
Well, there's a close-up of it.
That's so cool. I love how it looks like it has the Ogopogo in it.
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose?
Well, not on purpose. I mirrored it together, and
just
that's what
happened to
showed
work.
up. And when I was getting the pieces, I wasn't aware that I was going to be able to mirror, because I did another table similar to this, and it wasn't mirrored at all. But this is the other end of the table,
It's got a sad face.
and
I love it.
you look at this.
Oh my god, that is so beautiful. Just to even have a piece of wood that big and to work with.
Well,
is
that
insane.
one is glued down the middle.
Yeah.
But I've developed a system where that I can run my skill saw down there and be able to mirror that perfectly together.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like that's.
And then this piece here again, if you look at it, you see that two snakes there talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
See that's green?
Yeah.
That is natural in the wood.
Oh, weird.
It's that tree was grown where there was a fairly large copper deposit, and so all that copper was drawn up into the tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a cool concept. That must have a really unique energy to it because it has those metal compounds to it too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow. What is it like to get to be able to take a piece of wood that is that scale? Because that's not a small table. That's
10 feet long.
10 feet long.
Yeah.
and
30
probably about, what,
30
6 feet wide?
No, that one is about 38 inches wide.
Oh, okay. Okay, so.
Yeah. But I did another one that I did 8 feet long and 40 inches wide. And I just finished that one not too long ago.
It's crazy to think that you're still pumping these out. Like, you're just like, I'm not like, that's a big job.
Oh, it is.
That's not a
It's
small
huge.
job.
It's huge.
No, and that's kind of like a mind-blowing
And
aspect.
then this one, that one there, pick that one up. That one's the same thing.
They're so cool. So developing the skills over the years, what's been the most hard thing to overcome? Besides materials, because I know that's going to be the first thing that comes
getting
up.
the materials that you like. It's just learning the skill set. But it's interesting. When I was a kid, and I guess maybe it started right there, when I was maybe 10 years old. One of the first woodworking thing I ever did was when I was still down in Indiana, got all of my dad's old tools and everything, and we built a battleship about this long and used nails for turrets and all the and the guns and everything, and we took it up to, we had a pond that they'd built, took it up there, and it sunk.
It's a solid piece of wood. Why isn't it floating?
Yeah, but that's kind of where it all started, and then I've just always been, but it's just over these last 14 years that I've kind of really ramped up on the
Into the art form.
Art form of
Did you ever think that when you were building houses and traveling the world that you would stop building houses to build art?
No. It was just when I built this last house, that's when I did the change up. I had the opportunity and to it just, and during that transition and stuff, well, the other thing with that last house that I built, that was very close friends with the people I was building for, and the guy I was building for was an architect, and he built houses all over the world too, or as an architect, and he was came to me and says, "Okay, Mark, roughly how much is this house going to cost, eh?" And I says, "Well, if we don't make any changes, it'll be such and such, eh?" He says, "Well, there's going to be no changes because, this is my retirement home, and I spent 4 years designing and putting it all together." And okay, so I was about 3 weeks into it, and I says, "Maybe we should look at this or this, eh?" And he goes, and you could tell he was a little miffed or whatever.
Tweaking, yeah.
But and then, another week or so down the road, then I said something, and about 2 months into the house, he took me aside the one day, and he says, "Mark," he says, "I'm so glad that you was able to have the audacity or whatever to
challenge my view.
Challenge your view, because," he says, "now I understand why at the end of the day you would go up and sit on the hill and look down at the house, or you'd go, once the walls were up, you would start sitting around and looking." And he says, "Now I understand what that was all about." He says, you're very much a visionary, and he says, "You took what was going to be a plain house and turned it into something spectacular. And he says, I thank you so much for that, you know. And so that was kind of, you know, when he said that sort of stuff, then it because that's the whole thing, that I've always been that way, is I can see it, take a set of blueprints and take them to a customer or whatever and start looking at them, and they'll go, and I'll say, well, you know, looking at the prints here now, I know this is going to have to change, this is going to have to change, and that's going to have to change. And they go, what are you talking about? They're lines on a paper. And but I can see in 3D, and I can see that house finished just on the paper.
Yeah, you understand how the house is supposed to go. And I think that you brought up a really good point, because he's an architect. He's got the vision, he's got the understanding of the technical know-how, how to design.
Yeah.
But when it comes to physically putting wood together, that's a total different battle. And designs change. And that's one thing as a carpenter, you know, is like the blueprints are just a guide. There's going to be tons of things that change as it goes. Is it the same way when you're dealing with art?
Oh yeah. No, it is. And too, it's a lot of the times these pieces, they speak to you. And I had a situation where I was cutting. At one point in time, I was doing a lot of working with the big grapevines.
Oh, okay. Like the actual stalks.
Yeah, the big
actual
stalks of grapevine.
How does that translate?
And so I was cutting coasters out of it.
Okay.
And
it's a really unique idea. Cutting coasters out of a vine.
Yeah.
To sell to wine lovers.
Yeah. And
I like the way your brain works, mister.
Yeah. And so anyway, I had this one piece and I started cutting it, and had I cut it a 1/16 of an inch one way or the other, I wouldn't have got this.
Okay, I have to show the camera this. Look how cool that is. The faces.
Alfred Hitchcock, there he is.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and if you...
And that's just pure luck.
If you look at I had a nameplate put on it.
I love that. Wow. And you can't, there's no...
No.
You would never have known until you sliced that.
No, absolutely. Well, and two, if you look on the backside, none of that shows up.
Nope. That's insane.
It was just, I was just blown away by that, eh?
That was just meant to happen.
Yeah, it was.
What did you end up doing with that?
That one...
Is that how it is finished?
That's
just
how
the
it's
two
finished.
staring?
Okay.
Okay.
The two staring at each other.
Love it.
And it's actually in a shop down in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have your work across the world?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I always ask this question because it's like, I think as artists, we're always looking forward. We're never really thinking about the present and how far we've come and progressed.
Yeah.
And to remind artists to like take a step back and realize how far you've come.
Yeah. Well, and two, for me, like I said, the one on the Canary Islands, that was pretty special to have that lady say that to me. And then the same with the two houses down in LA. And then the one in Budapest, because it was a wood frame house, eh? Those weren't ever being built there at all. And that was something that was brand new. And so I had 5 Hungarians that worked with me and was teaching them how to build with wood, eh? And they were just blown away.
Did you ever get a chance to go to India to work?
No.
I was going to say, because their skill set for putting wood houses together with no nails.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was the same with Japan.
Yeah, right.
Like all they're all put together with no nails. The traditional houses, eh? So what has started happening now in Japan is they're taking the structural good parts of the way we're building and the traditional Japanese and
Merging.
blending them together.
I like that.
And it's just incredible.
Yeah, the jointery in those old houses is.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And that's a skill set and an art in itself that I don't think is like the dovetail.
No.
People don't understand how hard that is to make.
No,
right?
that's not even the half of it.
No.
And like I say, I go back to that 65-year-old finishing carpenter, and he was unbelievable. He would start calling me sensei.
Right. And you're like, no, dude, no.
And we'd go back and forth. I
love that.
And it was kind of interesting because I started really learning the Japanese language. And there was one day he was up on the scaffolding and fell. And so I reached over and I said to him, I says, "Kabi-san, daijoubu?" Which means, "Are you okay?" And they go, "Kabi-san, daijoubu nai." No, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of memories that you really
that last
forever. Yeah.
I want to talk a bit about this beautiful piece of work here.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to finish this?
I was about
insane.
To start with, I was up at the landfill, and I saw that piece there, and originally I was going to lay it down flat and make a table base out of it.
Oh, okay,
And,
like have glass or something sit on top.
Yes, glass or something on top. And then when I started cleaning the inside out, it just talked to me, and then the lady who that we built that last house for, the resident, the architect, she was a writer and poet.
Okay.
And so she helped me write that poem that goes with that.
Okay, perfect. Amy's going to get a shot of it right now so that people can see it.
And so it was unbelievable when I got that whole thing finished, and like I say, it shows pictures on there of when I had just got the whole inside all cleaned out, all the rot that was in it and everything. I opened my garage door and the light just comes shining through that piece, and I had to sit there for 10 minutes. I couldn't move. Like and then the inside of that, when I first did it and put the clear coat on it, the way the wood shaped and everything there after cleaning it out, it just looked like a rib cage inside. And so it was pretty amazing.
How long did it take you to clean the inside?
I was about a week.
I was going to say probably a long time.
Yeah,
that's
about a week.
Ton of wood to move. And what do you just hand grinder or
no
chainsaws?
No, I was just I mostly cleaned that whole thing out with a chisel and then sanded it out.
Wow.
And then the outside just palm sanded and
You
cleaned
did that
it.
with a chisel.
The inside, I cleaned that out with a chisel, and then there was a lot of bark on the outside too, and I took all the bark off.
You are a madman, my friend. That is a lot of wood to move with a chisel.
Yeah, well, it was all rotted inside. Like really, really bad.
Oh, so it was easy to.
Yeah,
okay.
it was fairly easy to take out, but it just, as it says in that poem, it's having all the rot cleaned out of you is and to bring you back to life again and make something new out of you is pretty crazy.
It is, and I think I love that you take things that would be broken down and thrown into the dumper.
Yeah.
And I love that concept, and same with Gail, like where you guys upcycle and you use these things that are somebody's going to look at like, oh, that's garbage, but you see it and you're like, there is magic there.
Oh yeah.
And getting to see it, and like you understanding grains and wood, and I can imagine you're wandering around just looking at pieces on the ground all the time, and you're like, can I please have that?
Yeah.
Do you find it, what has been your favorite piece to work on, not house, but piece, to this day, in the 14 years that you've been doing it?
Well, that one there was one of my
That's one of your babies?
favorites. Yeah, but it's just each piece has its own story and speaks to you in its own way, eh? And so that is something that's it's just like, I mean, you can't see it. Those pieces that I found up there on top, there that we put the squirrel and everything in, that if you look closely on it, it's all red around the ring, and that's all natural. It's called flaming maple. Never heard of it before, eh?
No.
And so it's cool when you find all these different species and different things that and too, like I say, when you you know, I wasn't necessarily looking when I cut this, but it talked to me and said, okay, cut here, and mirror that together, and that's what happens.
And that's mind-blowing to me, that to develop a style that you can split it in half, and you said some are two different pieces of wood,
Yeah.
and merge them together so that there's no seam.
Yeah.
Like it's flawless.
Yeah.
Are you using wood glue for in there, or?
Oh yeah, I use a wood glue.
But how do you get it so, like, you're always going to see the line. That's why I always feel like no matter how hard you.
No,
I don't get it. I don't get it. You're racking my brain right now. And it's like, I love these. I love this concept that you have.
Yeah.
For the flower pots and. Do you? Is that resin?
Yeah, that's resin.
ask,
I don't use a lot of resin because it looks too
Yeah, and it's
plasticky and costs a lot. But I just don't. I like the wood to speak for itself, eh? And then the other thing that I got into doing is I don't know whether you can see it behind those flower pots that I made, the watering can flower pots.
Yeah.
There's two turtles back there, and I cut them out of cedar slabs,
Oh wow.
and then rounded them off and stained them all up green and everything, and they float.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
That's so cool.
And so I took the one that you can see over there is I cut two holes in it that'll hold two big pop cans or beer cans or whatever. You can have that out floating around
with you. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did that just come to you randomly? You're like, oh, I can do this, or was that like?
Well,
that's
a
what this is
person
meant
asked
for?
me to
make it.
make some turtles, eh?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are wicked.
Yeah, and then the craziest thing about that is when I took this picture of
A turtle on a turtle.
a little turtle on top.
Love that.
And you can see like what I use for their heads.
Okay. Yes.
And so for some reason I swiped down, and then Siri told me what kind of turtle that was.
That's so funny.
No, now it's funny. What do you think she called that? They're actual turtles that live off the coast of California.
I was gonna say the leatherbacks.
No,
Oh, okay.
a loggerhead turtle.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played. It's made of wood. That is a loggerhead turtle.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's-
Yes, it is.
It's a loggerhead turtle,
That is
and
so
its
cool.
little head is made out of a log.
That is so cool. I love it. Yeah, that is so cool. What has been one of the hardest techniques to learn as a carpenter, going from building a house into turning it into artwork? Because a lot of the skill sets that you learn building a house don't really transcend to making art. other
Well,
than
they
the sanding
do and they
cutting.
don't. In that, when I, particularly like the houses that I was building, well, all of them, but the two that I built in LA, because there again, the lady that I built for, she had this real highfalutin interior decorator come in. And she said, Jay, this is not a house, it's a work of art. So it's the detail that I put into when I'm building homes and stuff, that I just carry it forward into.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's like a it's a really cool art form, and as a carpenter, it's like,
Oh, it is.
it's almost like you feel like as a chef doesn't want to sit there and cook desserts after he's worked all day, right? Like, is there ever a point where you're like, I don't want to work with wood, I'm just really good at this?
Yeah. And then I got to building big tractors and stuff too, eh?
Oh, wow.
And for a place down in Kelowna. And I had just unloaded this tractor off the truck, pulled it over to this place. This kid comes running over, jumps up on it. So blow that up and look at his face.
You made this giant John Deere tractor and he's just jacked to be on it. That's awesome. I get it now. You were making wood tractors.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you actually meant you stepped aside to work on like machinery.
No.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And how many times have you built things that scale?
Oh, about 5 or 6
Oh, wow.
of them. And then I had another lady that she wanted, because she had been to this place and saw it, the kids, because I built this other pickup truck. They wanted a pickup truck to put up on the roof
Okay.
and painted red for Christmas.
I was gonna ask, does it have a little Christmas tree in it?
And so I built this, and it didn't go up on the roof then. It got put in the store, and the doors open on it, and the kids just go nuts over it.
Oh, wow.
They just go climbing all over that thing. And
Is that a solid log for the fender?
no, that's, well, it is, yeah.
You
It's
just carved it around.
just carved it around.
I absolutely admire what you can do with wood. That is
Yeah, and then this
amazing.
gives you an idea of how big the truck is.
Wow. So when you're going about doing these kind of projects,
What's that?
when you're going about doing these kind of projects with like the fire trucks, the trailer,
Yeah.
or tractors, do you ever dive into like boats or planes and stuff? Because I've seen.
The one thing that this place that I was doing these for was down by the airport in
Okay.
Kelowna. And things changed, but I was going to build a big plane that 2 or 3 kids could sit in, and put a sign out for photo ops saying didn't quite make it to the airport.
Is that at the kangaroo farm?
No,
Okay.
it's just not too far from there.
Okay, because
Yeah.
that's to be able to take wood and build something like that. I grew up living in Naramata and hanging out in Naramata, and there was this, back in the day they had this wooden boat, and I don't know if it was who made it, but it was one of the funnest things to grow up playing on, because it was just something different than a typical slide or swings. And
yeah.
the fact that you get to make that and bring that joy to this younger generation who's like, oh, this is made
Oh,
of wood,
well,
this is so cool.
Yeah. So I did another one here that you're gonna blow your mind on this one. So I made this one up. This little car comes running over, climbs up on it, and guess what the sign says that was beside that for the old photo op?
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Take me for a piggyback ride.
Oh, love it. That is so cute. She's super cute too.
And you see the expression on her face.
It's
It's
just
cute.
pure happiness.
Yeah,
You can't beat
yeah.
that.
No,
You
no.
you get to bring that to people. How does that
Oh,
feel?
it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable to watch that
The
joy
joy.
that the kids have for that day.
Do you think that you're ever gonna take it to a bigger scale, maybe? And do, like-
Possibly.
'cause that's a lot of wood to work.
Oh yeah.
I can
yeah,
imagine one of those takes a couple weeks.
Yeah, yeah. And then the same guy asked me, can you make teeter-totters out of wood?
Okay.
And I go, yeah, okay. So I came up with this idea with my turtles, and they're not teeter-totters, they're turtle-totters.
And it tilts and
Oh
everything
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's the
Well,
log.
here,
The log will
I'll
do
show
it.
you. I've
The
got,
log rolls, I guess.
See if I can find the.
See, and that to me, like the fact that you have these like really unique concepts that you're turning into, you're taking just logs and boards and you're creating these beautiful things like a teeter-totter that's not something that you would think to build. especially in modern, like nowadays.
No,
There
no.
is no such thing as teeter-totters anymore. We don't have any
No,
of that
no,
kind of stuff,
no.
right? Like, I'm pretty sure those aren't allowed anymore because they were unsafe.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of a cool thing to bring this like beauty back. Yeah, it's exactly how I thought it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So cool.
yeah.
That is so cool. And look at them. 2 kids
Oh,
just
and the
having
kids,
fun.
they-
Yeah, they're just
like-
going at it.
Like we had a show down there, and I had 3 of those made, and there was 3 of them, and the presentation went on, the thing went on for about 3 hours. There wasn't 1 second that there wasn't some kids on those 3 turtle totters.
Right, and that's what to me is like,
Yeah.
that at the end of the day is what truly matters when you're making art. Is
Mm-hmm.
you're getting this younger generation to see something that,
Well, and that's why I
didn't
love
see.
my grandsons working with me now.
Yes.
It's just,
I
it's just
forgot, I was going to
incredible.
ask about this because
Yeah.
you had, how is that feeling of getting to teach,
Oh, it's
not
unbelievable.
just your sons, but
Yeah.
and then move down to your grandchildren and pass those skills that you have? Because you've got a knowledge that needs to be passed on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
skill sets that like if it's gone, it's gone and we're screwed.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, so you to pass it on is kind of a, how does that feel to pass the torch on to your
Oh,
grandkids?
it's just brings such joy to you to have them working with you and teaching them and like that piece there, when I first brought it into the shop, I had my grandson say, "Here, can you start sanding that up?" Because it was, it needed to be all sanded on the outside. So I gave him a palm sander. He did a perfect job. First time he'd ever had it in his hand, and I just was blown away.
You just knew he had the
Just-
gift.
Yeah, yeah,
That's super cool. And I like, as a parent, I like often wonder, are either of my kids going to pick up the art forms that I do? Or are they going to be inspired to do their own
yeah.
art forms,
And
right?
then again, I had this situation where a friend called me up and said, "We know where there's a walnut tree that the guys cut down, and they're just going to cut it up for firewood." I said, "No." So I went down and we slabbed it. There again, cutting exactly in the right spot. That's what came up on the one.
Oh, wow. Looks just like a bear.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I love wood grains. This is where I kind of wish that I would have dove into creating guitars. Because as a musician, I love guitars and I love
Oh,
working
yeah.
with wood.
Yeah.
But that is a scary industry to hop into, is guitar building, because
Oh,
it is
yeah.
a totally
No,
different.
I've thought about possibly getting into it, but
Yeah, that's a scary one.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
the thing, is you got to know your woods and which woods can
Yeah, yeah,
resonate
yeah.
and what parts of there's so much to building guitars and building wood in general.
yeah,
And that's where I think having those skill sets to work with wood is a very valuable thing to have nowadays, because there's always going to be carpenters.
Oh, yeah. No,
but there's
that-
not a lot of younger. They're doing it because it's a job and they're going to get paid lots. They're not doing it because they're passionate about working with wood.
no,
and
no,
that scares me.
no, and that's it's and the biggest thing for me is to be able to, and that's what I'm trying to teach my kids, right, my grandkids, is to be able to pick up a piece and say, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this with it, where it's and that's what makes it all one of a kind things, because it's something that can't not be duplicated, no matter how you try it, and so it's pretty fun to have that opportunity and present it to me and everything, and
I built this furniture a few years back, and it was like a customized, I like to call it my guitar cabinet, kind of like a curio cabinet for guitars. And I found that it's not the best. My hinges on my drawer aren't fully even, but I was so proud of this thing. And to build something from nothing is a beautiful skill set to have. And that's where I kind of miss being a carpenter and working on job sites where you get to pick the brains of, like you said, the 65-year-old Finnish carpenter who's just a master. but is super shy.
Yeah,
Won't go out of his way to tell you how to do it unless you go and bug him, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think being a woodworker nowadays is almost like it's a dying trade.
Well, and too, just with what I'm starting to see here now, and just with, what I'm finding, you can't go down to the hardware store and pick a board up and even come close to what I've been able to find and turn it into something that's, and so we're looking at doing some other. See, and then this piece here I made, this tree couldn't figure out which way it wanted to grow.
No, that's super cool too.
Yeah.
That is a really unique piece of wood.
Yeah. And then these are 2 carved bowls that he did out of the the juniper as well.
Oh wow! I want to show the wood grain on that. That is for all our wood geeks out there. That's a beautiful grain inside of that. And like you just get to find these pieces because with the vineyards and stuff people shopping wood, the trees down.
Well, I have a site where a lot of arborists dump all their stuff.
Okay.
And I have access to it, and that's where I get a lot of this very, very cool pieces. And just,
the cost behind that, do they just let you take it?
They just let me take it.
You are lucky.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because if they were to charge you for that, like that would be the amount of the price of wood alone.
Oh yeah, no, it's just but
lumber is not cheap anymore.
It's all that stuff that it's actually beneficial for them for me to come and take it because they don't have to grind it up.
They don't have to do anything, and you make art out of it.
Yeah.
Which to me is it's a very valuable skill to have, is to be able to take, like I said before, take something that somebody is going to look at as garbage and take it and turn it into something that somebody's like, I want to pay 10 grand for that.
Yeah.
And I think that being able to transcend that skill set from building houses and being sought after to build houses to being sought after to build tables or to build specific pieces that people are asking you for, it kind of is a testament to your skill set because you're not slowing down. You're probably getting more busy by the day, and that's why you're having to bring on your grandkids, right? Like, you guys are going to do all the stuff that I don't want to do. But at the end of the day, you're still building that legacy, and it's still going to continue, which to me is one thing that never truly gets to happen in family businesses, is that
and
part.
too, I'm finding stuff in wood now that I've never seen before. And this is a piece that I picked up. And how did that happen?
It's an owl or an eagle.
Well, those two small
circles,
little trunks.
How does it have 2 rings?
Well, the 2 little rings inside started growing as 2 trees.
Yeah.
And then
turned into
melded into one.
Wow. And I'm kind of like trying to wrap my brain around. I did not see that at first.
No,
not at all.
Yeah.
And that's an old tree too, so I wonder how long ago.
Well, this tree is about that big around.
Oh, okay, it looks way bigger than that.
No, it's not.
Photo.
It's only about this big around.
Okay.
But I've had other ones that you'll see a bit of bark coming in between them. But if you blow that up a little bit and look at the grain pattern, how
does that work?
I have no idea.
Like that to me, I would love to learn the science behind 2 trees
that can merge.
I mean,
I've seen other ones do it, but not to this degree.
No, that is a really cool. I might have to get you to send me that so I can send it to our editing guy so he can put that in, because I'd love for everyone to see the photos.
Yeah.
If you were to change anything in the industry of art for woodworkers, what do you think it would be?
The biggest thing is like, I'm very big into repurposing now, and don't go down to and say this is now a piece of art. It's finding something that is created by God and turning it into something that is going to last forever, and that's what it's all about. And this is another piece that I found that I mirrored together. When I first got it, it was about this big, and I had it sliced, and I wasn't thinking, because it was cut on the one side, and I didn't think anything about it at the time until we started picking them up. And look at that.
I really like the wood that you find.
Yeah.
I'm going to show this one. This is really cool. I don't know how he finds these magical pieces, but he seems to just keep getting them. Just multiple different beautiful pieces of wood.
Yeah.
What did you turn that one into?
Well, it's a table.
You turned that one into a table.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There it is.
Oh, okay, there's the base of it.
Yeah.
I love, it looks like a mushroom.
Yeah.
I like that.
It just,
That is so cool.
you know, and it's the cool thing about these tables is people see it and they'll look at it and they say, oh, I see this in it, I see this in it, and that's,
You see different things, right?
yeah, and everybody sees different things in it, eh?
And I think that's what right there, that is why I love working with wood.
Yeah.
Because I see one thing, you see something different,
Yeah.
Gail sees something different. We
Yeah.
all see, and that's where art is very subjective. And I'm starting to, like, as I dive further into the art industry and meeting different artists and artisans, I really understand the creative process and how people understand their work. And I love that I get to sit down with you, because woodworking is something that I've always had an absolute fascination for, passion for, and I don't share mine. I'm very self-conscious about the stuff I do. How do you go about you've got the skill set to worry, but not have to worry about it. But how would you give advice to somebody who's like still slightly nervous to put their work out, even though it's good, right?
Well, it's something that, to a degree, you either got it or you don't. And you either have that ability to envision or you don't. And that's the biggest thing, is being a visionary. And most people don't have that skill. And that's why when I was building houses and stuff, I could, make changes on them before it even started, eh? And because you have that ability to see in 3D kind of thing, eh?
I like that. How do I phrase this?
Yeah, and it's just like this table here that I made. I was at a salvage yard once. These are Model A rims.
That's so cool.
And they still got the Ford emblem on the end.
That's so cool. So this table, oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
See, I like the way you go about it too, because it has different facets. Like, you're using different skills in the way you're building the tables too. You're not just like, oh, here's a base with a tabletop.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, the tires, the rims themselves are forced and focused onto a piece of wood.
Yeah.
That is 2 pieces of wood, correct?
Yeah.
Or is that one?
No, it's one.
Okay, so you just managed to make it, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then you bring it up to this tabletop.
Yeah.
And this is such a stunning piece of wood too. See, like, I'm jealous of the stuff
And
you
then
get to work with.
I made these dragon eggs, eh?
What is this?
It's a piece of wood, and then I turned it on my lathe, eh, into an egg, and
hefty.
made it that big, eh? Because that's a
hefty.
piece of oak.
Yeah, that's a heavy piece of wood.
And I had a smaller one, and I gave it to my grandkid. He took it downstairs. He come back up. He had this dragon puppet on his hand, and he says, "Look, Grandpa, it hatched."
That's so cute. I love that. This is really, really unique.
Yeah.
I've never held something like this before. I'm actually like kind of confused on it. I'm like, how did you do this? I really enjoy your print, your stamps.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks gorgeous. I think we're getting roughly there. If you had any advice to give an aspiring woodworker who wanted to start a career
Yeah, yeah.
and be successful at it, what advice would you give them?
Number one, an absolute number one, think outside of the box. Yeah. Come up with your own perception and think outside of the box, and then that's while you be able to Don't try to imitate or do, what he's doing or what she's doing or what this is doing. Is think outside of the box and come up with your own vision, and that's what makes you an artist, is being able to think outside of the box.
I like that. It is a very valuable lesson. A lot of people tend to stick to comfort zones.
Yeah.
Artists thrive in uncomfort.
Mm-hmm.
We thrive in uncomfortable times and uncomfortable areas and under high pressure. And I think that if you can manage to do that, and do exactly what you just said, you will be able to be successful.
Yeah.
I agree. Mark, I want to thank you for your time and having
thank
us
you.
here and diving into your history, your woodworking. The way you see wood is mind-blowing. I love it. From a woodworker to a woodworker, I'm like, I would love to spend another 4 hours picking your brain, but I can't, unfortunately. So thank you for everything. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, there will be a QR code at the bottom of the screen to scan. It'll take you to a form, and we will be in touch with you. I'm Robb O'Day, and from everyone at TELUS STORYHIVE, we will see you next time.